Okay, so today, guys, we're looking at God of Thunder by Kiss. Great song. I covered the first part pretty well in the first video. Just wanted to mention the double stops one more time. I'm using the face of my fingers to play that, so instead of the tips of my fingers, actually right on the face. And what I'm talking about is when I'm going just all face of the fingers, either on the 7th fret, on the 4th and 5th strings, or on the 3rd and 4th strings, and the 5th fret on the middle 2 strings, 3 and 4. And it's just a... When we do the bend, I'm pulling down on that. So it's just... So make sure you check out the first video. They set some loop points there and get that part down. That's really Ace Frehley's part, so that's guitar 1 is what I called it. Guitar 2, it's Paul Stanley. He's doing single note versions of this. The riff would be like this. So it's really about the same riff, it's just he doesn't do any of the double stops, it's all single notes. I've got it noted in the tab sheet there that you should have in front of you at this point. If you don't have it, stop the video, print that sheet, bring it in front of you so you can take a look at it, follow along. And that's under Intro Guitar 2, okay? All single notes, really following the same riff, identical notes, just no double stops. So when we get to the double stop part, he's just doing... playing the notes at the 7th fret on the 5th string, or 5 and 7 on the 4th string. So if you're playing it in a band situation, you have 2 guitar players. One guitar player would play that part, the other guitar player plays the double stops. It's going to sound really cool. That's the way they did it on the original riff. Also, I should mention that you will find 2 different tempos for this song. The original version off of Destroyer, Kiss Destroyer, the album that I really dig it, is at 112 beats per minute, so it's slower. So it might be one that you want to pace it when you're first learning it, learn it at a slower pace, and then go to the live version like on Kiss Alive 2, which would be at like more like 120 beats per minute and really rolls along. So the first one, the version would be very slow. Which is really effective, but live it's... a little bit harder to play it at that pace. So, you know, go with the original studio version and then look at the live version once you get it down. All right, I got more parts coming up. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so now we're going to look at the chorus for God of Thunder. I'm going to play it for you, then I'll explain what I'm doing. It goes like this. Basically batting out a lot of 5 chords or power chords. The chords that I'm going to be using are going to be the C5 chord, which is the 3rd fret on the 5th string and the 5th fret on the middle 2 strings. I usually hold that with just 2 fingers, my index and my ring. And that's going to be C5, 2 strikes on that. Then we take that shape up 1 towards the ceiling. So now I'm holding the 6th string 3rd fret, 4th and 5th strings at the 5th fret, and that's going to be a G5, 2 strikes on it. Take the same shape up to the 5th fret. Again, we're holding the 5th string and the middle 2 strings, playing the middle 2 strings at the 7th fret, and an index finger holding on the 5th fret on the 5th string. That's D5. And then up a whole step, 2 frets for an E. Single strike on that. So I went through C twice, G twice, D twice, 1 E, and then back to the C, E again. We're going to drop all the way down here to an A5. That's going to be the open 5th string, 2nd fret on the 4th string, and up a whole step, 2 frets to the 2nd fret on the 5th string, 4th fret on the middle 2 strings for a B. Starting over the riff, going C, G, D. Now we've got a tricky part coming up here. It goes back and forth between either the 3rd fret on the 5th string or the 2nd fret on the 5th string, combining with the 5th fret on the 4th string like this. And what we're doing there, we have a C5 chord when we're doing the 3 and the 5. When we're doing the 2 and the 5 is actually a G form chord. It's GB is what it's called. It's like a G chord, but with a B in the bass, just back and forth. And the Guitar 1 really does this. Guitar 2 does something different, and I'll cover that in a few moments. So you just got the G5, D. Now, Guitar 1 just sustains that. Guitar 2 does a kind of bangs on that D chord. So again, slowly, we're going to go C5, G5, D, C, A. Fancy part. Back to the main riff. All right, so make sure you stop your playback here, maybe set loop functions. Look at the tab sheet when you're doing this. I covered a lot of it. You can cut it up into small pieces if you want with the looper function, so you might want to do that. Practice it again at the tempo of the original version on Destroyer. It's a lot slower, 112 beats a minute. And that's what I have reflected on the tab sheet. It says 112. It is more like 120 when you're doing it live. All right, next up is going to be Guitar 2 chorus part. All right, guys, so now in God of Thunder, we're looking at the chorus part for Guitar 2, Paul Stanley's part. It's very similar to the other part we just studied, Guitar 1 on the chorus, but a little bit different. Starts with the same C5, but on the G, instead of going to the G5 as I was playing it before, the 3rd and 5th frets on the 6th string through 4th string, we're now playing more of an open G5, where I'm playing the 3rd fret on the 6th string, 3rd fret on the 2nd, I'm muting the 5th string, and playing the open 2 strings in the middle there. Get a big fat sound. And then D5 is the first, guitar did, and then E5. But this time, instead of going on C and E, we're just going to go single strike on C. Again, you know, you have to do something a little bit different to texture it, so he's just doing a single strike on C. That's right there at measure, looks like 36. And then E, and then A, just as the first part was, and C, the new G. Now, for the fancy part, this is different. Instead of going, it's a little harder to play, just playing the changing bass note. So all on the 5th string, 3rd fret or 2nd fret, jumping all the way up to a G5 at the 10th fret on the 5th string, 12th fret on the 4th string, 1 strike, and then back to D. So that part is really plays well against Guitar 1. So you probably, I would learn both parts and then play one part and then play the other part. Get a feel for what each guy was experiencing there. Once we get done with that, we're going to go back into the outro, which is just like the intro. And just ends on an E5, which is the 9th fret on the middle 2 strings, 7th fret on the 5th string, and the open 6th string for just 2 strikes. And that's right at the end of the song. Don't think you'll really hear that in every live version, but from the studio version they were doing it, and I think in live too they also did it. So really, really cool ending to that. Also, I believe on the live version they may have shortened that one by 1 repetition of the. So you can see lots of different versions of this on the internet that they played live, as you know, they did it for years and years and years. But just reference the first version on the original album Destroyer, and I think you'll get a pretty good gist for what the song is. Hope you enjoyed this song, Victor. It was for you, man. I liked your list you sent, and this was the one I chose. So let us know, comments in the section below. For this song or any other song, anything we have here on Guitar Animal, let me know what you think. I'm Trent. Thanks for being members, guys.